Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Every city has a spot that feels like its true center, the place where people gather, where events unfold, and where memories are made. For Cincinnati, that place has always been Fountain Square. It's the crossroads where families meet, where workers take their lunch breaks, and where children lean over to toss coins into the water with whispered wishes. If you've grown up in or around the city, chances are you've passed through here more than once, pausing to take in the rhythm of Cincinnati. The postcard we're looking at today captures that feeling perfectly. On the front is the Tyler Davidson Fountain, better known to most of us as the genius of water. Rising tall in the middle of downtown, it has been Cincinnati's most recognizable symbol for over 150 years. The fountain has a story of its own. It was dedicated back in 1871, a gift from Henry Probasco, in memory of his brother-in-law and business partner, Tyler Davidson. Probasco wanted something that would inspire the people of Cincinnati and give the city a landmark to be proud of. He traveled to Europe, commissioned the fountain from the Royal Bronze Foundry of Bavaria in Munich, and had it cast there before it was shipped across the ocean. When it was unveiled, it was unlike anything people had seen in the region. At 43 feet tall, with water streaming from outstretched hands and sculpted figures illustrating how water gives life, it became more than just a decoration. It was a symbol of prosperity, creativity, and pride. From that moment on, if you asked someone about Cincinnati, the fountain was one of the first things they'd mention. This particular postcard, probably printed sometime in the 1940s, shows more than just the fountain. Look closely, and it captures the pulse of a busy city. Office buildings tower in the background, their windows glinting in the sun. Cars with rounded fenders line the curb, their chrome catching the light. Shop signs stretch over the sidewalks, calling to passers-by, and a theater marquee glows with the promise of an evening's entertainment. If you listen with your imagination, you can almost hear it, the rumble of traffic, the clang of a streetcar bell, the chatter of conversations carried on the warm breeze. Maybe there's the smell of roasted peanuts drifting from a street vendor's cart, or fresh bread from a bakery around the corner, blending with the faint mist rising from the fountain itself. Getting to Fountain Square back then was an event. Many families came in on the streetcar, children dressed a little sharper than usual, parents carrying shopping bags or plans for the theater. Others drove in from the neighborhoods, parked their cars, and spent the afternoon wandering department stores like Shalito's or Mabley and Carew, catching a movie, and stopping at the fountain before heading home. Nearly everyone who visited downtown passed through the square at some point. That's what made it so central. It wasn't just a landmark, it was the hub of daily life. For me, postcards like this stir more than curiosity. They bring back my own memories. I can still picture myself as a child, standing with my parents at the fountain's edge, staring up at that bronze figure with awe. The water seemed endless, sparkling as it splashed into the basin. I remember the sound echoing between the tall buildings and the feeling of being small, yet part of something big at the same time. Years later, I took my own kids there, and as they leaned over to toss in their own coins, I thought about how my parents had stood with me in that very spot. Places like Fountain Square have a way of stitching generations together, weaving our stories into the larger story of a city. Over the decades, Fountain Square has changed along with Cincinnati. The surrounding buildings shifted, department stores gave way to modern shops, and the square itself has been redesigned more than once. Yet the fountain has always remained the centerpiece. It has watched over concerts, political speeches, rallies, holiday ice skating, summer festivals, and countless celebrations after sports victories. In times of joy and in times of struggle, the genius of water has been there, steady as ever, reminding them that this is their gathering place. And that's the beauty of postcards like this one. They aren't just pretty pictures. For family historians, they're windows into the lives our parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents lived. They may have walked past the same storefronts you see in the image, leaned against the fountain, or scribbled a quick message on the back before mailing it to a relative in another state. Postcards are small, but they carry the weight of real life. Moments that were ordinary at the time, but become precious when we look back. When I hold this postcard, I don't just see stone and bronze. I see Cincinnati's story, the sights, the sounds, the smells of a city alive with energy. Fountain Square has always been more than just a physical space. It's the stage where everyday life played out, the place where strangers and neighbors crossed paths, and the heart of a city that has always found a way to bring people together. And if you've got a postcard of your own, maybe it shows a favorite park, a busy downtown square, or even a landmark that meant something to your family, I'd love to see it. Just click on the contact link at ancestralfindings.com and ask for my mailing address. There's always room for more history on the shelf, and I may feature some of your postcards on a future episode of the podcast. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups. Explore thousands of articles and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy searching.